Welcome back. This is the second video in the weight loss series where I'm sharing an unconventional approach to weight loss, arguing that our goal shouldn't even be about weight. If you missed the first video in the series linked up here, I suggest watching that first. But today I'm sharing an alternative solution to focusing on weight loss, which is to embrace a non-diet, weight-neutral approach that's better equipped in helping us shift mindset and behavior in a more sustainable, kinder way. And I'm sharing a 4-step process to get you started. My name is Katie. I'm a behavioral food therapist with a private practice in San Francisco. Welcome to Whole Nourishment, where I discuss topics commonly addressed in client sessions about our relationship to food, emotional resiliency, and whole food nutrition. In the first video of this series, I mentioned that a dissatisfaction with weight reflects choices or lifestyle patterns that we're unhappy with. So the true focus needs to be on forming mindsets and behaviors that are aligned with our health values so that we are motivated and satisfied with what we're doing. The 4 steps I'm sharing today to help you start making that shift are rooted in research in mindfulness, acceptance and commitment therapy, and intuitive eating, which is an evidence-based set of principles to overcome an unhealthy relationship with food. Step 1 is about our mindset, because our thoughts inform emotions and emotions inform behavior. So if we want to shift behavior, we need to come back and look at our thoughts. And step 1 calls for a paradigm shift from a dieting, restrictive mentality to making peace with food and body acceptance. And I get it, this is a big topic, and it's something that I work with my clients on for several months, but we can begin to make the mental shift by becoming aware of the vicious cycle that diet culture at large has us trapped in, oscillating between food guilt, body shame, restrictive mindset, following food rules, or feeling out of control with food. Because it's in this place of awareness, acceptance, that we will be able to make choices that suit us and improve the quality of life. To make this paradigm shift successfully, we have to become aware of all the sneaky ways diet mentality is keeping us stuck. For example, doing that 30-day reset or eating low carb because we believe it's better for our weight, or going to work out or going to run every day, whether we are sick or underslept or tired. We have to want the emotional freedom and joy in life with food more than we want to hold on to those external measures that give us a false sense of control. An action item for this step, if you're ready, would be to throw out the scale, or at least put it in the far back corner of a closet. Because as long as we hold on to these external measures, we won't be able to cultivate self-trust, learning to listen, or that instinct. Step 2 is to trust your hunger cues. So hunger is not the enemy. We have to believe it's okay to eat when we're hungry and allow ourselves to eat even if it's not the right time. Diet mentality demonizes hunger and restricts certain foods. But it's this restriction of food and denial of hunger that research has shown leads to out of control behavior around food, not food addiction. To honor our hunger, there's another powerful mindset shift that has to happen, and it's that health is about nourishment, but also satisfaction, not denial. And this is a fundamental belief I think we've messed up in America. It's okay and even brings balance to eat for pleasure and comfort. There was a study that looked at attitudes towards food in various countries, and when asked about words one would associate with chocolate cake, the French were more likely to say celebration, the Americans were more likely to say guilt. The study went on to show that those expressing guilt and worry were more likely to show lower levels of perceived behavioral control around food and were less successful at maintaining weight. An action item for step 2 would be to start jotting down when and why you're eating. Is it because you're responding to an internal hunger cue, an external cue like weighing yourself or the clock, or an impulse to an emotion? Step 3 is to take pride in your process. Take ownership in how you're treating yourself each day versus focusing on just the end result. The process of adopting a non-diet approach and making peace with food is to cultivate that awareness and attunement to the thoughts, emotions, and body sensations. To make good choices in the moment, sure, we have to be aware of our emotions, but we also have to be able to shift focus from the thinking mind, which is not in the present, to the direct experience in our body. Curiosity and mindful awareness are essential for emotional flexibility and resilience. They're our superpowers. When we're in touch with our body states and emotions, we have the opportunity to better meet our physical and psychological needs. So let's take an example of eating a donut. We often feel guilty about what we eat, but in reality, what we feel guilty about is how we eat something. So it shouldn't be a battle of will or whether eating the donut is good or bad, but rather having awareness of what we need in the moment and deciding whether eating the donut will fill that need. So if we make a conscious choice to eat the donut and we feel like it's the right thing to eat at this time and we allow ourselves to fully enjoy eating it, then we'll feel in control and we'll feel good because we've made a deliberate, mindful choice. This is taking pride in your process. But if we're always denying ourselves the donut or pastries or sweets, then they'll have control over us and we won't feel good about how we interact with this food. An action item for this step is to ask yourself 2 questions when you're at decision points throughout the day. The first question is to ask, what am I feeling? Take an emotional and physical pulse to see if you're tired or anxious or restless or you feel unpleasant hunger. The second question is to ask, what is the most caring thing I can do for myself next? The fourth and final step is to carve out white space in your daily routine. So white space is the small, quiet moments in your day that allow you to pause, reflect, and just be with your thoughts without taking in new information. White space is so important because it brings balance and flow and sparks creativity, ideas, and inspiration. Think about when you've had a good idea. What were you doing when that idea came to you? It was likely an activity where you weren't thinking, you were giving your mind a break, whether that was showering or walking in nature or driving in silence. These are white spaces in your day. So the point with white space and relating to food differently is that we must craft an environment that has built-in downtime so that we can respond to our needs and choose differently. Otherwise, we continue running on autopilot with the same overbooked, chaotic days that trigger the same behavior around food that we are unhappy with. An action item for this final step is to ask yourself, what would white space realistically look like in your routine? What would you look forward to retreating to several times each day, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Get creative. Think about what realistically works in your schedule. Maybe it has to do with movement outside in nature or your commute, but doing these things without a podcast, without talking. Or it could be as simple as closing your eyes and doing a few minutes of deep breathing. Okay, let's wrap this up. The 4 steps to adopting a non-diet, weight-neutral approach to food are to make a paradigm shift from diet mentality to making peace with food, to trust and honor your hunger cues, to take pride in the process and bring more awareness and mindfulness to choices, and to carve out white space in your daily routine. Overall, I think this work is so important because I think we're having the wrong conversation in our society if we're after true health and happiness. We need to transcend this notion that weight is everything so that we can have productive conversations about themes like self-possession, discernment, authenticity, mindfulness, emotional awareness, and how to have greater tolerance for body diversity. Having these conversations and adopting a non-diet approach to health is what I help my private clients do. If you think you could benefit from this personalized support, get in touch. I offer a complimentary session and have left a link down in the description box if you'd like to connect with me. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think could also benefit. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.